Everyone always talks about how Luffy is destined to be the Pirate King, but what if I told you it's Buggy who will be the next Pirate King? The interesting thing about Buggy has met and been close to a lot of crazy characters similar to Luffy. When you look at all the top tier people in the current One Piece world, they're all kind of related to Buggy. And the funny thing about Buggy is during Marineford, we get a lot of interesting things with him. But the most important thing that happened in Marineford that no one talks about for Buggy is the fact that Mihawk straight up told us Luffy's greatest strength wasn't his crew or his strength, but it was bringing people together. And the crazy part is, guess whose crew Mihawk is currently on? Throughout the entire series, Mihawk is a loner. We know he's the kind of guy who doesn't want to be on a pirate crew. That's like one of his things. But despite that, he is under Buggy. The interesting thing about Cross Guild is the fact that there's their wealth, fame, and power, right? Because we know that Crocodile's wealth, bro, has a lot of money. Fame is Buggy because Buggy's the one who's the most famous. And obviously Mihawk is power, right? We know that those are the three things. But the most important thing about Buggy and why he's actually the captain of his crew, which is funny hot take, right? Is the fact that he is the ambition of his crew. And this is something that no one ever talks about. In One Piece, the captain of the crew is always the ambition. Look at Luffy. Luffy's ambition unites the crew. If you look at all of the goals of Luffy's crew, they all can only be fueled by Luffy's ambition. Nami wants to make a map of the entire world, which can only be possible if she's a part of the crew of the Pirate King. Same for Zoro. Zoro wants to be the world's greatest swordsman. Luffy even says that's a title worthy of the Pirate King's right hand. It's very imperative that if you are the captain of your crew, you need to be the ambition. And Buggy is the ambition. During chapter 1082, we have Crocodile and Mihawk basically talking about, in order for us to be like that and be tough, we need to have unparalleled influence. We need to do that to form our utopia. And then we have to become a strong military state. We need a lot of power and we need a lot of fame. Buggy's out here listening like, yeah, these niggas are tweaking. Like, this is not how this is supposed to go. I hear what you guys are saying, but you guys can't even call yourself pirates when you're thinking like that. Wealth and power, you guys want that in order to be the Pirate King, but you're not getting it. It's the Pirate King who gets wealth, fame, and power. So you don't need to go after it to be the Pirate King. You being the Pirate King will grant you those three things. And then he has the whole tirade about Shanks, and he's like, Shanks was this crazy guy. He had so much potential. He shined so brightly. I couldn't measure up, so I was going to be under him. But then I saw Shanks didn't have what? What did Shanks not have? The ambition. Because Buggy was like, why don't you want to be the Pirate King? Shanks was like, I'm not ready to go for Laugh Tale yet. I'm just going to build a crew and vibe. And Buggy was like, yo, I can't follow a nigga like that. We see with Luffy, Luffy's a very similar character. All these pirates that wanted to recruit Luffy didn't have Luffy's ambition. That's the whole key. Buggy's like, I thought Shanks was that guy. He was the next generation's king. I must have misjudged him. And what happened the moment Shanks was like, yo, I want to be the Pirate King? Buggy's like, oh shit, yeah, I think I can actually do it now. Me and Shanks were actually surprisingly on the same ground now. I am capable of being the Pirate King because we're both Yonko. The interesting thing that I think no one talks about, which is kind of crazy, is the fact that Buggy was like, what did you guys want to be before you gave up your dreams? In one of the cover stories, we had Miss Golden Week essentially painting what everyone's dream was. And she painted Crocodile with Roger's jacket, which obviously we know means that at some point in time Crocodile wanted to be the Pirate King. We know this obviously because Crocodile went up against Whitebeard, who was one of the greats. He was literally standing in front of the One Piece. That was like what Doflamingo said. Crocodile wanted to be the Pirate King, but at some point he gave up and he thought, okay, let me become the Pirate King through what? Gaining wealth and power. We already seen the nigga try to do this shit because he tried to get the ancient weapons. That failed. Now, Mihawk is a little interesting because we don't know too much about Mihawk's backstory. What we do know, though, is Mihawk was at Roger's execution. And all the people that were at Roger's execution, it seemed like these were the people who had high dreams. In addition to that, we know Luffy says, I want to be the Pirate King. And Mihawk's like, damn, that's a harder goal than what I am. That's a harder goal than Zoro. That's a harder goal than being the world's strongest swordsman. How would Mihawk know that the goal of being the Pirate King is a harder goal than being the world's strongest swordsman? Unless he tried to be the Pirate King and failed. Because if I try to be the Pirate King and then failed, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna be the world's strongest swordsman, and I achieved that shit, you can say this King of the Pirate shit, like that shit is really hard. A lot of people can't do it. Would kind of show that both Mihawk and Crocodile failed and they kind of stagnated. And because of that, we're actually seeing that Buggy, he has a Pirate King's ambition. And I think that's very, very important. Buggy is a character that can lead people to him, just like Luffy, almost magnetically. It is crazy. And I think when you look at what the Pirate King is, that is a character that needs to have that ability. We see Roger is a person that was able to just have people around him. Obviously, we've seen Luffy throughout the entire manga do the same thing. And Buggy does it actually more impressively. Luffy can kind of sometimes wow his crew with his strength, but Buggy doesn't have that shit. All Buggy has are speeches and just luck. We have to talk about how that's an important part of being the Pirate King, and Buggy has that in spades. He's somehow gotten the world's strongest swordsman on his crew. He somehow got Crocodile, who was a Pirate King candidate back in the day, on his crew. And then this last point is about rocks. I don't really know where y'all stand on this, but I think that Buggy is a lot closer to Rocks than niggas think, is what I'm gonna say. Because I think it's very interesting that we have not gotten Rocks' hair color. And I think that the moment we get Rocks' hair color, shit will start breaking the internet, bro. I'm not gonna lie. We know that obviously Blackbeard's the son of Rocks. Everyone knows that now, right? In Blackbeard, we have seen he is trying to build a crew very similar to Rocks. He's getting some similar members. I think he killed one of Rocks' old crew members. He's in the same damn pirate island as Rocks. We know that he's trying to copy Rocks. But the one pirate who has a crew more similar to Rocks is actually Buggy. When you look at how Buggy got his crew, it's not Davy Back fight like, but it is very much like, oh shit, I just got this crew now. We know that Rocks got most of his crew members from the Davy Back fights, and we know that that's not all fighting. Buggy did not have a fucking hour-long arc where he fought the villain and then just basically like, yo, you're my crew member. He didn't do that shit. Buggy just kind of ended up in this situation. Similar to how Zoro was, because Zoro was like, yeah, I'll be under you, but I'm only going to be under you as long as it benefits my goal. And that's kind of what Mihawk was doing. Mihawk's basically like, I'm okay with not being attacked by pirates, so I'll just be under you. Little did he know that, nigga, you were part of my crew now. You're one of my strongest members. To be one of the top tier pirates, you kind of have to have that lineage. And it's interesting that we don't know who Buggy's parents are. We now know Shanks' parents, or at least his dad. That's all that matters, right? We know Blackbeard's parents, or Blackbeard's dad. We know that it's a very important character. You look down the list of people, we don't know who Buggy's like father is at all. And that's weird because Buggy and Shanks, from what we understand, they grew up together almost. Very, very close to being growing up together. We haven't gotten there, but it's probably going to be assumed that Shanks was picked up by Roger in God Valley. So where the fuck did Buggy come from? We have to acknowledge that. This nigga Buggy came out of nowhere. Buggy is a contender to get the One Piece. That's what it means to be a Yonko. And Buggy has all the characteristics and the traits that are needed to be the next Pirate King. In fact, he's already on his way there. Oda's been planning Buggy and probably the Yonko to be important for a long time, as far back as Sky P of Volume 25. Buggy, to me, has always kind of been there. We gotta just watch Buggy, bro. I'm not saying Luffy won't be the Pirate King. Like, Luffy probably will be the Pirate King. But I will say, if it's not Luffy, it's gonna be Buggy, bro. Because think about it. Think about it. Everyone is expecting Luffy to be the Pirate King, which we all get. It's like Luffy's name is stamped as the Pirate King. But if for some reason someone else would be the Pirate King, who do you think it would be? Because I don't think it'd be Blackbeard. We know it won't really be Blackbeard. Who could Oda describe and make the Pirate King and it still kind of flow with the series? And the answer is Buggy, bro. It's Buggy. It's clearly him. If Buggy became the Pirate King, people would be like, oh, it's whatever, bro. I don't think people would really have a problem with it. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I do think that we will get a lot more Buggy stuff, and I think that there's a reason that he's kind of just been vibing. If you think about some of the crazy big One Piece moments, Buggy is weirdly there. Buggy was in Marineford doing a lot of important shit. His name is stamped on Marineford. There's like 3 pirates who rose crazily from Marineford, and it's Luffy, Blackbeard, and Buggy. Like, come on, bro. Those are the 3 pirates who got the most stock increase. Then when you look at the whole scene about one of these guys will find it, and we had all the little pictures of the different people like Sabo, Dragon, Shamrock, I think as well, Garling. Bro, Buggy was on the shit. Like, Buggy is an important character. He's a guy that is going to be one of them ones. He's going to be a huge game changer in the game of One Piece, or the game of the One Piece. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if you think that Buggy is a real Pirate King candidate, or let me know if this is a bunch of BS. Don't forget to like, subscribe, but I'm out. So, peace.